It's pretty clear that this presidential election is coming down to the swing states. We have the traditionally blue states, the rock-solid red states, and then there are the ones in the middle that can change year by year. Those are the ones, of course, in yellow. Now, Florida is one of those states, maybe the most important of those states, and that's why we are focusing our attention there today. Joining me now from Jacksonville is Lenny Curry, the chairman of the Florida Republican Party. Lenny, good morning to you. First of all, there are less than 60 days left until the election. Hard to believe. Less than that, though, for people who will be voting early. What is the Florida Republican Party doing to rally support behind Mitt Romney?
Well, there's absentee drops that are going out to get people to get their absentee ballots in early. It's all about a ground game now. It's about, in addition to the rallies, making sure that we're calling Republicans and Democrats, knocking on their doors, and encouraging them to come out and vote for Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan.
You know, people talk about the three Floridas. I'm sure you're well aware of this. The North, which is traditionally conservative, South Florida, which trends towards the Democrats, and Central Florida, which always seems like a toss-up. So is that where the Republicans are really focusing their efforts?
Well, we can't take anything for granted in Florida because it is such an important state for Mitt Romney. It's a must-win for Mitt Romney. North Florida, while is traditionally conservative, President Obama came really close in Duval County in Jacksonville back in 2008. He got 49% of the vote. We cannot let that happen again. But then the I-4 corridor is critical. Hillsborough County has called every presidential election since 1960 with the exception of one. So Orange County, Hillsborough County is a big deal for us.
Mitt Romney rolling out some new ads in Florida like this one. Let's take a listen.
This president can ask us to be patient. This president can tell us it was someone else's fault. But this president cannot tell us that you're better off today than when he took office.
Here in Florida, we're not better off under President Obama. Home values collapsed. Home construction jobs lost. High rate of foreclosure. Romney's plan? Provide alternatives to foreclosure. End the mortgage lending freeze. Create over 700,000 new jobs for Florida.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
All right, so Lenny, you know, we have seen that home prices are up and foreclosures are actually down since Obama took office. So how do you square those numbers?
Well, in Florida, since Governor Scott took office, the economy started to turn around in Florida. In fact, I know President Obama is campaigning today with former Governor Charlie Crist, which is odd to me. But if you look at the year that Charlie Crist and Obama were in office together, Florida lost over 200,000 jobs, and we've since Rick Scott took office, created over 120,000. We've started things around here, but we've got a ways to go, and we believe that we would be in much better shape with a Mitt Romney as a president.
Well, let me just pick up on that, because I know you've said that you do give a lot of the credit to Governor Scott there, but we've heard this a lot in the battleground states like Ohio and Florida and Wisconsin, and GOP, you know, everybody in the Republican Party still seems to be saying that. Is it possible that they're all recovering in the same way like that? And you know, we had Alex Sink on, a Democratic candidate for governor there in 2010 in Florida, and she laughed at that. When that was brought up to her today. So I want you to react to that.
Well, here's what I know. My experience on the ground in Florida. I know Governor Scott personally. I see how he works every day. He's not just a politician that's out shaking hands trying to make a case. He gets up at the crack of dawn every morning and goes to bed late at night, and he's actively working to make sure that Floridians are getting back to work. This is a direct result of his efforts and the Florida legislature. There's no question in my mind. I see it every day.
A couple weeks ago, you said the Romney plan for the economy was plain and simple to just stop the nanny state. Doesn't he need to give people more specifics than that and more than he gave in his convention speech?
Well, Mitt Romney has a 5-point plan, but let me talk about this criticism of Mitt Romney and what are you going to do specifically compared to President Obama. When you have someone that's been in a CEO role for a number of years and they haven't performed, their response shouldn't be, well, what's my successor's plan going to be? And when someone comes in to interview for a CEO role, you typically look at their resume, because history is a pretty good measure of how someone's going to perform. So in interviewing Mitt Romney for this job, you look at what he did at Bain Capital and job creating with Staples and Sports Authority. You look at what he did with the Olympics. Mitt Romney has a record of success, and that's how you interview someone for a job and ultimately hire them.
He talks about his 5-point plan, though. We know there's a plan, but what are the 5 points?
Well, this includes energy, it includes small business, it includes tax reform, You know, if we got into specifics here, we could sit here and talk for an hour, and I'd be a policy wonk at that stage. But again, the point is, Mitt Romney has a record. He has a history.
Do you think he's laid out the specifics, though, you're saying, compared to the president?
I think he's laid out more specifics than he's getting credit for, absolutely.
All right, Lenny Curry, we don't have an hour to talk specifics, but thank you very much. Appreciate it. We've got more